For me, I can easily say that the first season of the old Transformers cartoon is my favorite. The characters and voices are all so well defined and memorable.
Maybe Ironhide's ready for a nice cushy office job.
Hey, no way. Soon as Ratchet tightens a few bolts, I'll be right back in action.
I suppose you've devised a brilliant plan for seizing it, eh, leader?
Affirmative, Starscream. We attack the falls at once.
Hey! That's a new paint job!
Man, that's hot!
Thanks for your help, brothers.
What about my paint?
Don't worry, nobody'll notice. Just make left turns.
Well, any ideas?
There.
Great, but I'll need some help.
Rumble. Activate pile drivers. Operation Destruction.
Let's do it!
The concept of the Earth being invaded by these robotic creatures, some good, some evil, often seen through the perspective of a young man coming of age, and his single-parent father who was good-hearted, wise in the ways of the Earth, and so very caring to his immediate family, and his new family they'd found among the Autobots. The episodes within this first season were even somewhat serialized in their storytelling, with many of the events of previous episodes affecting the overall developing story, more so than they would in subsequent seasons. Well, for the most part. This story begins near the end of the first season's run, after several run-ins with the Decepticons and Megatron's many schemes, some of which having been more successful than others. Even after being thwarted by Optimus Prime and the Autobots at every turn, Megatron has been at least effective enough to have stockpiled a fair amount of energy both here on Earth and back on Cybertron, guarded by the ever-loyal and logical Shockwave. And the time has now come for them to execute their greatest plan, nay, their grand vision of re-energizing Cybertron and empowering the Decepticons to rule the universe forever! Megatron has even found an ambitious and intelligent human to foolishly assist in this grand plan. The mad scientist Dr. ARCHEVILLE, who has allied himself with the Decepticons in exchange for the promise of inheriting the Earth when Megatron is done with it. And he has a new technology that will greatly assist in harvesting the bountiful promise of this plan's rewards. To throw the ever-watchful Autobots off track, the Seekers, led by Starscream, are sent to the coast of India in a classic Decepticon bid to overtake a new power station and rob it of energy. Thundercracker wastes no time in making a scene.
I hear the Maharaja's holding an open house.
The Autobots, with their advanced Sky Spy technology, are already heading to intercept. And thanks to Wheeljack's incredible innovations, even a large body of water isn't going to stop these car robots.
Thanks for the crazy water skis, Wheeljack. I always wanted to play motorboat.
I wish they were painted to match my base coat. They clash.
Redecorate later, Sunstreaker. Our primary concern is the Decepticons.
Before Skywarp and the others can cause too much havoc for the Maharaja, Optimus rescues the tiny human and prepares to lay down the business to Starscream and his cohorts. But little do he and the other Autobots know that this is all part of the greater plan of Megatron and his new maniacal ally, ARCHEVILLE. They further coordinate the next step of this plan together, initiating Soundwave, who is stationed near the Autobot base, to proceed with his part in this plot. He deploys Rumble, who is skilled and small enough to enter the base, avoiding detection. At least, until he wants to be detected. While the Autobots and their human allies go about some routine maintenance, they feel tremors shake through the base. Ironhide zeroes in on the epicenter, with the small scout Bumblebee quickly discovering Rumble. But he's not alone. Soundwave dispatches Ravage to back up Rumble, even as the Autobots converge on the pile-driving punk. Sideswipe is ready to give Rumble a full face of laser, but Ravage prevents him from taking aim. Spike and Sparkplug can't help but cheer Sideswipe on as he throws Ravage against the wall, but Soundwave has also sent in Laserbeak, who swoops down from above and between the two humans, randomly snatches one of them, escaping through the mountain while Ravage and Rumble presumably retreat. Spike can't even scream or yell as the shocking revelation of his father being abducted by Laserbeak slowly sets in.
Decepticons have captured my dad.
Usually the Decepticons were rather dismissive of humans up to this point, looking at them as one does vermin or insects. And besides that one time Skyfire had unwittingly taken Sparkplug and Spike to Megatron, only with the best of intentions at the time, as well as the time they harassed Spike's friend Chip Chase in order to steal from his mind a certain secret formula that proved unstable anyway. They had never actually captured one of the humans before, and Spike dreaded what these cold-hearted creatures could possibly be doing with his dad. Back at the Power Palace in India, a fierce battle with the Decepticon jets suddenly comes to a halt when Megatron alerts them to retreat. Optimus and Jazz are immediately suspicious of this sudden escape, noting they didn't even take any Energon cubes with them. Then comes the emergency transmission from headquarters of Soundwave's attack and Sparkplug's abduction. Sunstreaker fumes, now knowing this attack was all a setup, and they fell for it. In the undersea base of the Decepticons, Dr. ARCHEVILLE eagerly awaits his new guinea pig. As Laserbeak arrives carrying Sparkplug in tow, Megatron ensures their new guest is comfortable. Starscream and his team also descend into the base, with Skywarp characteristically being contrarian to Starscream and his own personal ambitions. This tussle between his warriors angers Megatron, but also causes the distraction that Sparkplug was hoping for. Trying to make a break for it, or at least sabotage something, Sparkplug is then yanked back by surprisingly impressive strength from this cyborg scientist. You can see the wide-eyed surprise in Sparkplug's face at this, as the chair engages an unbreakable harness around him.
I have something which will interest you.
It had better function, Doctor, or you may cease functioning.
I have worked too diligently to fail now, Megatron. Watch.
Whatever you're doing, the Autobots will stop you.
Silence, miserable flesh creature! You are to be the first of a new breed. A breed of slaves.
Back at the Ark, headquarters of the Autobots, Spike is comforted by his best Auto buddy, Bumblebee. The worry over his father almost making him feel sick with concern. This concern is also felt by the other Autobots, who have been working around the clock on a rescue, and Prowl has put together the perfect strategy.
I've got the plan, if all of you've got the cast iron manifolds for it.
We have. Transform and roll out!
It's always exciting whenever Prime calls out his most famous catchphrase, reminding us that he and the Autobots will always be there to save the day. Shockwave radios in from Cybertron, he and Megatron coordinating last-minute preparations for their impending special operation. But they are not the only ones to hear their coded discussion.
Eavesdropping, Doctor?
What's this about a space bridge and a special cargo?
That's not your affair. Yours shall be yours when we are through with it. That's all you need to know.
Entering the lab where the Seekers await a demonstration of Dr. ARCHEVILLE's new technology, as well as to keep Sparkplug from further attempted escapes. Megatron enters, eager to see if ARCHEVILLE's science will prove as useful as he claims. As the Mad Doctor indicates the chip he'd placed behind his volunteer's ear, he activates the control console linked to it. And immediately a signal is sent into Sparkplug's mind. ARCHEVILLE claims he is now in complete control of his subject's mind, but Megatron has a facsimile of Optimus Prime ready to test this, knowing this human would never willingly betray the Autobot leader. ARCHEVILLE commands Sparkplug to deal with the Autobot. He immediately obeys, and one can only guess this control chip can cause adrenal surges within its subjects and grant them great strength temporarily. Megatron is extremely pleased by the results of this test, admitting that these Hypno-Chips will provide Megatron the means to enslave the human race, to conquer the Earth and the Autobots once and for all. Somewhere inside the consciousness of Sparkplug's mind, he heard and understood what Megatron has said. Yet he could do nothing but stand in horror against the machinations of the Decepticons. Prowl is the first to arrive at the infiltration point, with the others soon behind him, ready to execute their rescue mission.
Into the ocean! Let's be daring! The last one in is a rusty herring!
I hope the salt water doesn't bleach my body enamel.
While the Vanguard dive into the water to attack Decepticon headquarters head-on, Brawn, Cliffjumper, and Windcharger covertly begin digging, making a secret pathway behind enemy lines. A scanner on the base detects the incoming Autobot intruders, and Optimus Prime announces their arrival to the Decepticons.
Let's see if they can scan this. Autobots, move in.
Just as he leads the charge to attack, the group is hit by a powerful blast from a fusion cannon, a prepared Megatron welcoming these assailants. Sunstreaker is able to sneak behind him, only happy to return the greeting Megatron offered. The battle is now in full sway. Autobots and Seekers trade shots, while Thundercracker launches a rocket at Tiny Bumblebee. This ain't Bumblebee's first rodeo, though, as he grabs hold of the explosive to aim it right where it came from.
Hey, Thundercracker! This belonged to you?
Brawn and the others continue to tunnel, with Windcharger's magnetic powers alerting him they're right where they want to be, underneath the Decepticon base. The ultra-tough Brawn bashes his way through the ground.
Everybody into the pool!
And they head towards their target. Thanks to Cliffjumper's glass gas, they're able to shatter a small piece of the exterior, which just happens to be the spot Starscream was currently threatening ARCHEVILLE on, who was seemingly trying to escape with his prisoner. Caught off guard, Starscream quickly sinks below, while physics keep water from rushing into the base, as Brawn and the others leap to Sparkplug's rescue. But Brawn can't help himself, doing a bit of internal flood damage to the Decepticon headquarters. It all happens so fast in their escape, Starscream doesn't even have a moment to get his bearings, but ARCHEVILLE laughs, informing Starscream that the Autobots will pay soon enough, now that they have taken his slave into their midst.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
After all the Autobots have made a hasty retreat, they go through their post-battle medical and maintenance checks, while Spike is just basking with joy that his dad is home safe and sound. But he hasn't been the same. Spike worries what's happened, asking if he's all right, but Sparkplug's response is curt. As he walks away, even Wheeljack wonders what Sparkplug's deal is. Normally, they have a good time building stuff together. When Sparkplug starts popping hatches on Autobots that don't even need a checkup, they all start wondering what's wrong with him. We witness that Dr. ARCHEVILLE is monitoring and directing his subject directly, and begin to understand that Sparkplug isn't just acting abnormally, but nefariously. He approaches Optimus Prime, who'd already had a once-over by Ratchet, but all of a sudden, Optimus is shot down. The Autobots are caught off guard, while Megatron personally leads the charge of Decepticons into the base. Bumblebee and Spike retreat away from the battle to safety, and even as Prime rallies to defend the Ark, his arm malfunctions when trying to fire his ion blaster. And it seems he isn't the only one. With the fight heating up, Bumblebee tells Spike to hide. Heading towards Teletran 1, he trips, somersaulting in his haste. He notices his dad's favorite wrench laying next to the open and damaged port into Teletran 1, and slowly, unbelievably, begins putting the pieces together. He sees his father approaching and confronts him over this. Sparkplug is at first confused himself, but then he writhes in pain, while Dr. ARCHEVILLE increases the intensity of the Hypno-Chips control, worried that the close family bond shared with his son may somehow help Sparkplug break free. This surge of power recaptures Sparkplug's mind, stirring him to smack Spike away roughly. His dad was definitely not in his right mind. The Autobots are in very bad shape in this surprise attack. Megatron prepares a final blow to many of them, but a quick-acting Spike causes a short in Teletran's controls, sparking a fire response protocol to dump a vast amount of retardant foam on top of the Decepticons. Fearing this chemical may damage their circuits, Megatron orders a retreat, knowing the damage already done to the Autobots should be enough to keep them from interfering with the rest of his grand plan. As the Decepticons leave, Sparkplug tries to get Spike to go with them all, alarming Spike, who feels like his own father is now a completely different person.
Come, join me and rule!
Dad, you're not like the Decepticons.
Then you will fight against your own father. When next we meet, we are enemies.
You can almost see Spike's heart breaking, unable to comprehend what could possibly be wrong with his father, wondering if he's now lost forever. While the Autobots initiate damage control, the Decepticons have moved operations high up into the mountainous plateaus, readying 3 large devices for some nefarious purpose. STARSCREAM arrives, escorting Dr. ARCHEVILLE to the area to bear witness to the project's execution. It seems that ARCHEVILLE has some part to play in this grand plan at this point. But also, I would imagine the impending cataclysm is rather incalculable in its probable damage to Earth. If Megatron currently needs ARCHEVILLE and his technologies for what comes after this plan is executed, then the safest place to keep him would be nearby. As such, Megatron decides perhaps it's time to inform his small human ally of the details of this grand plan.
you're finally preparing this space bridge to send that special cargo, eh?
Precisely, Doctor. And the cargo will be nothing less than our home planet of Cybertron.
Your planet? You're bringing a planet to the Earth?
Yes.
But the gravity of your planet will create earthquakes, tidal waves. It will devastate my planet.
But that devastation will create a tremendous flow of energy. Energy which your Hypno-Chip slaves would collect into energon cubes. The cubes will then easily be shipped to Cybertron for our use.
But what will be left of Earth then? I will be ruler of a dead world!
A small problem, my dear Doctor, for your amazing genius.
I love just how condescending Megatron is to ARCHEVILLE in this moment, and just how betrayed this would-be ruler of the Earth feels as he realizes the hell he's bringing upon the Earth. Ratchet and Spike have finished the repairs to Teletran 1 just in time for an eager Optimus Prime to ask for a Sky Spy intelligence report. The Sky Spy has already located this problematic Decepticon activity up in the mountains. The suspicious-looking pylons the Decepticons have placed there are analyzed. Prime and Ratchet coming to the conclusion that they are for making a giant space bridge. And whatever the Decepticons plan to transport through it, Optimus bets it can't be good for the Earth. Back on Cybertron, Shockwave stands prepared, but even his coldly calculating circuits are wary of this ordeal, knowing that if anything goes wrong, Cybertron could be torn asunder and be destroyed in the process. Megatron acknowledges this, but gives the order to begin. The Autobots, it seems, have arrived just in time to stop them. Megatron was prepared for this contingency, however, readying his counter to the Autobot attack. Optimus Prime readies his troops, but Megatron unleashes his surprise for them. It almost feels like a new low, even for Megatron, as he reveals what are essentially human shields, all of whom are enslaved by Dr. ARCHEVILLE's Hypno-Chips, Sparkplug front and center among them.
Autobots, hold your fire! We cannot endanger the humans!
You disappoint me, Prime! I never dreamed you'd let a few worthless flesh creatures stand in the way of attacking us!
It's not over yet, Megatron!
It's Dad! Slaves, attack the Autobots!
To have all of these human men rushing at them, picking up sticks and stones, must have been a surreal sight to the Autobots, even considering the seriousness of it. Prowl motions for Spike to run and hide, while the rest of them sort of don't know how to handle this. While the humans are beating uselessly on them, overwhelming them. Wheeljack tries to step away, and Jazz declares just how uncool this situation is while just kinda dealing with it. But poor Bumblebee is too small to take it, and when Sparkplug himself begins bludgeoning him, he calls to Spike for help, worried he might hurt Sparkplug if he tries to push him away on his own. Spike pleads with his father to stop, reminding him that the Autobots are their friends. It seems Spike is breaking through this time as Sparkplug's demeanor softens. His eyes begin lighting up in recognition. The bond between Sparkplug and his son seemed to have negated the control of the Hypno-Chip. And just as Spike feels utter relief at this, and things are back to normal, Dr. ARCHEVILLE recalculates and resends the control codes, once again taking control of Sparkplug's mind as Spike watches him scream in pain. Once again, he throws Spike out of his way, and as Spike calls out to his father, he tells him,
Dad!
Don't call me that! Never again!
The words break Spike's heart. Sparkplug is commanded to begin activating the space bridge pylons. He successfully powers up the first of them, declaring so with a strange elation.
Pylon number 1 activated!
Thundercracker quickly follows through, activating the second pylon as they begin converging on their targeted apex. Optimus chases after Megatron, desperate to keep him from the third pylon. Even after being knocked away, the determination of Optimus Prime is too strong. He and Megatron trade blows at the base of the pylon until Prime finally gets a good hold of his opponent.
That's the last one you're activating, Megatron!
Correct. You will activate the last pylon and bring Cybertron here.
As the Earthlings say, fat chance, fathead!
If you don't, you will be responsible for Cybertron's destruction.
Destruction? But there are still many inhabitants, friends on Cybertron.
Then make your choice, Optimus Prime.
Optimus couldn't believe the trap he'd fallen into, the double-edged sword he now danced on. He could stop Megatron now, even for good. But in saving the Earth and interrupting the process of the space bridge, he may destroy all of Cybertron. And there were still so many others, even friends and more, he'd left back there. Could he risk killing them all and bringing his whole race to the brink of extinction? Optimus was always compelled to do the right thing. It's who he is. And yet, this was a no-win scenario, a Sophie's choice. How could he make the right decision when every answer was wrong? Whether by his own instincts, the wisdom of the Matrix inside him, or the feeling that he could not let his homeland spiral into oblivion, Optimus walks forward and makes his decision.
Very well, Megatron. You win.
The activation of the pylon finishes the process began by the other two, as a tear through the fabric of space-time itself at a Lagrange point far into Earth orbit. A hole the size of a planet rips open, and through it enters the very homeworld of the Transformers, Cybertron. The effects on the Earth of another celestial body in its proximity are immediate. The wind gushes around both planets, caught up in the gravity between the two. On Earth, hurricane gales blow across the land, the ground bursts open, and the Transformers, Autobots and Decepticons alike, all stare in awe and near disbelief at the sight of their beloved planet. Spike, his spirits already crushed by his father, can hardly fathom the sight of this metal world in the sky. Megatron cheers, regaling in his elation that his plans are unfolding, his machinations bearing fruit. And soon he will create enough energy from this calamity to rule the galaxy. As Megatron celebrates, Optimus cringes back, knowing that despite choosing what he hoped was the best of his very limited options, he may have doomed everyone.
Have I saved Cybertron only to destroy the Earth?
The fate of two worlds now hangs in a delicate balance that is already teetering towards disaster. But even in this dangerous no-win situation Optimus Prime is in, he understands what he must now do.
We must have courage, Huffer. We can't ignore the danger. We must conquer it.